I don't know about you guys, but I'm not sure if I felt this good after a week of football since week 1. And that is because Thursday night, my team, the Philadelphia Eagles, knocked off Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers in a much needed win to get back in the win column. And don't sleep on the Eagles, guys. Do not. But what made it even better was, of course, the fact that the Cowboys lost to the Saints, which we already talked about in the interview with Nick Hamilton. But looking at some other results from around the week, the Giants get a huge win over the Redskins. We also saw the Detroit Lions fall just short of becoming the first team to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That was a great game down to the wire. The Chiefs remain undefeated, one of the only teams across the league that are still undefeated. The Patriots, of course, being another one. And I'm going to go on record to say I don't think the Patriots are going to lose their next 3 games. I think they'll be 7-0 before we finally see them get their first losses or even come close to their first losses in that stretch where they play the Browns, Ravens, Eagles, and Cowboys. So for all New England haters like myself and New England's fans, I think that they're going to win the next 3, and I could see them easily being 7-0. I'd be surprised if they're not. In a game of winless teams, the Bengals and the Steelers, we saw Pittsburgh get their very first win of the season. Huge win over the Bengals, 27-3. And then the Tennessee Titans, Marcus Mariota threw for 3 touchdowns, 2 of which he connected with A.J. Brown. They knock off the Falcons. The Falcons drop to 1-3 with their only win, of course, coming over the Eagles a couple weeks back. And lucky for me, I had the chance to witness that. I am still very salty, if you can't tell. But, of course, there were a number of other results across the league. The Jaguars closely beat the Broncos by 2. Still no Jalen Ramsey on the field. So a lot going on across the NFL. It's only week 5. Yes, the fun is still continuing. So before we get into week 5 play starting Thursday night, Rams versus Seahawks, it's only right that Will Morgan shares his fantasy football players to keep an eye on in Will's fantasy footballers. So Will, who you got?
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another exciting installment of Will's Fantasy Footballers. Now, guys, I'm targeting a different set of folks. These plays are fantastic plays if you have them in normal 10 to 12 man leagues. Fantastic if you do. I think they'll do you well. But this week, I'm targeting players who play DraftKings and FanDuel. And I'm looking at a stat, and there's a particular stat that just screams out to me this week. DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans. Now, the past couple of weeks, they have been underperforming, but this week, I believe, will be a good get-right week. And what I mean by get-right, the matchup is very favorable. They're playing the 1-3 Atlanta Falcons this week, and they just gave up 3 touchdowns and 227 yards passing to Marcus Mariota. Now, he's not throwing the top 10 receivers, so I think this would be a very good matchup for your Houston Texans this week. Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, great plays in FanDuel, DraftKings, 10 to 12 man leagues. If you have them, if you can go out and get them, definitely do so. They will be the players that can be the cornerstone of your team this week. Well, that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys in week 6. Everyone have a great week and take care.